liberals are now actually siding with John Bolton after he was fired by President Trump. Okay. As you know, earlier this week, President Trump released John Bolton from his area of service. For many of us, it was goodbye, good riddance. And yet there are people on the left that are lamenting this decision, which only goes to show you it's not about what Trump does or doesn't do. It's just the fact that they are so infected with Trump derangement syndrome, they won't even admit when he's done something right, when he's done something beneficial, when what he's done was absolutely, without a doubt or hesitation, the right thing to do. But of course, in all the things that Donald Trump has been famous for tweeting, and just the fact that it gets up the ire of the liberals, the left, the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media, firing Bolton via a Twitter notification, pure Donald Trump genius.
But we were set back very badly when John Bolton talked about the Libyan model, and he made a mistake. And as soon as he mentioned that, the Libyan model, what a disaster. Take a look at what happened to Gaddafi with the Libya model. And he's using that to make a deal with North Korea. And I don't blame Kim Jong-un for what he said after that. And he wanted nothing to do with John Bolton. And that's not a question of being tough. That's a question of being not smart to say something like that. So I wish John the best. We actually got along very well. I'm sure he'll, do whatever he can do to, spin it his way.
You know why I love Donald Trump, aside from the fact that I agree with his policies? He's got that New York attitude that I was kind of raised in because I'm from New York, born and raised there, spent nearly 40 years of my life there, other than 4 years in Chicago, then of course 9 years in the state of Florida. Now I'm living in the Midwest, actually in Northwest Ohio, and I broadcast from an undisclosed grain elevator. That all said, that New York attitude that says, he's going to spin this in a way that makes him look good. And that, the way he does that, what he's saying is, look, if this guy was competent, he'd still be on the job. He's not competent, I let him go. He's going to tell you what he wants to tell you, but I got other things to think about rather than John Bolton. I love that attitude. And when President Trump first announced his candidacy, and so many friends of mine in Florida were like, how can you be supporting him? Just the things that he says and the way he says it. I said, yeah, sounds like Sunday dinner at my table when I was a kid growing up. I said, this is like listening to my dad and uncles talk, or my dad and the rest of the fathers in the neighborhood talk. I said, this isn't shocking. I said, it's a New York thing. You'll get used to it, because he's going to be a great president. And that he has most certainly been. But what's amazing to me is the liberal left. Now, for years, one of the things that was supposedly synonymous with liberalism, progressivism, is this whole anti-military establishment position that they took. Once the Vietnam War got ramped up into full swing, who was it? It was the liberals, it was the hippies, it was the progressives that were burning their draft cards and, hell no, we won't go, make love, not war. And all of this was about, furthering the military establishment. This was about all the money that's made by the military industrial complex through the war profiteers and the manufacturer of arms, and there are guys in the lobbying movement that are paying off the politicians to always be at perpetually war with someone. And here comes President Donald Trump, who says, you know what? You're right. We were warned about this, not by a flaming left-loon progressive president or political figure back in the day. We were warned about this by outgoing President Dwight Eisenhower, kind of warning John F. Kennedy, be careful, watch out for this growing military establishment, this military complex, who, by the way, were more than likely behind the assassination of John F. Kennedy. I'm not going to get into all of the Kennedy conspiracy, but anybody in their right mind knows Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone. Lee Harvey Oswald was the setup patsy, and it was not a behind-the-head shot that took out President Kennedy. It was a shot from the front. That all said, President Trump comes along, and what was it that he campaigned on? These endless wars in the Middle East have got to stop. Yes, 9/11 needed answering for, but at the same token, being perpetually at war in the Middle East has not worked. Look what happened when we took out Gaddafi in Libya. Look what's happened to these perpetual never-ending wars in Iraq, in Afghanistan. Enough is enough is enough. He turned the military loose. He said, look, go over there and deal with ISIS, deal with Al-Qaeda. Stop worrying about how this plays out on the news. I'm not George W. Bush. I'm not Barack Obama. We're not just going to do these little endless drone strikes and prolong and prolong and prolong. Get over there, get it done, kill the enemy, and then you're coming out of there. And I'm done with all this. I'm done being the police force for the world. I'm done being every other nation's free military service. They're going to start paying us for this, but we're done with all of this. John Bolton is a neocon. John Bolton thinks that what we did in Libya was a good thing. Okay. John Bolton wanted to do that same Libya policy with North Korea. He was totally against President Trump even meeting with leadership from Al-Qaeda. He was doing leaks. You had the liberal media talking about how bad it was that President Trump was going to meet with the enemy. It's funny. They wanted Barack Obama to do it. They wanted Bill Clinton to do it. But of course, Donald Trump, not allowed. It's not about policy. It's about the personality. Even when it's a policy they agree with, their hatred of Donald Trump overrides every rational thought. Liberals, Democrats, progressives should absolutely be celebrating the firing of John Bolton. I mean, look who's lamenting this. Witness Protection Romney, Mitt Romney. Oh, we've lost a great man. He's years of experience. Yeah, he's had years of service. That doesn't necessarily make him smart. Doesn't mean that the decisions he made were good ones. You know, there's a difference between somebody who actually has 25 years experience at something or spent 25 consecutive years as a rookie. You know what I mean? Just because you have a lot of years invested in something doesn't actually mean you were any good at it. And John Bolton has been horrible for foreign policy. Great for the military-industrial complex. Great for war profiteers. He's one of these guys that wants us perpetually at war with somebody. And only our government can go in and fix these other countries. That's a progressive idea. That's liberal ideology. That all said, I couldn't believe when I went on Facebook the other day and saw a number of liberals who I actually happen to interact with, converse with, were once again, this president doesn't know what he's doing. He's got a revolving door in that administration. Nobody wants to work for him. Somebody actually tweeted or posted, even a crazo like Bolton doesn't want to work with a crazo like Trump. No. Nay. What Trump is doing is again continuing to drain the swamp. And this is not about your political affiliation or label. It's not about do you call yourself left, call yourself right, call yourself conservative, call yourself liberal, call yourself Republican, call yourself Democrat. If you are part of that oligarch globalist thinking, this war hawk mentality that this is what's going to make our economy thrive, and I will personally benefit from it, that's got to go. And it doesn't matter what political label they identify with. What better way for Trump to get rid of some of this within the swamp that the other swamp dwellers protect is for him to hire them and then fire them. In other words, bring them in under his tent and then kick them to the curb. Love it. Love it. It was a good thing. Glad Bolton's gone. You look back through some of my previous monologues, comments, videos. I have never been a John Bolton fan. Now, if only President Trump had found a way to at one point hire Traitor Gowdy and then fire Traitor Gowdy, that would have been a good thing to finally discredit that huckleberry once and for all. That said, good day for America. Good day for the Trump administration. And Bolton, we have no doubt you will be picked up by some lobbying group, or you might even become some type of advisor to some Democrat. Because with you, it's not about political ideology. It's not about really being an American patriot conservative. It's about the global military establishment. That's it. Done. Your history. Bye, 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 bye. Well, that's it for today's rant. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for giving us a thumbs up and a like. Please share this post other places. Help us get the word out. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Please make sure that you smack the bell for my next rant.